Yeah, I mean, this will be our third game in 7 days coming up. So the big part of this is managing some bodies. We're in good state in terms physically, but we'll use today to obviously, there's some high minute guys we want to manage, there's some low minute guys we need to top up, and then obviously preparing for a very good Adelaide team on Thursday.
Back on that, obviously, Sydney game in Sydney. Huge win for the group to come away with on the road.
Yeah, I mean, any early road win's massive. So, we did a good job of, defending the ball. We did a great job of protecting the three. There's a few that we let go, but for the majority, I think we had about 83% in terms of what we contested. A higher volume in what we contest generally results in lower made. So, happy with the guys. A few areas we need to tidy up early in the season, but again, to walk away with a win like that on the road is good.
Where do you think those areas that you need to tidy up, what would they be?
Oh, just closing out the game. The turnovers. We pretty much had the game wrapped up. When it's a 6-point game with 30 seconds to go, it shouldn't be a game. So, easy fixes. A lot of this is just guys logging minutes together. But the reality is the game shouldn't have been as close as what it was.
Obviously, in your starting five as well, you feel like it's starting to gel a little bit more now?
Yeah, definitely. And again, Drew spent more time playing than he has training. So that'll only progress as the weeks come on.
And does it give you a bit of relief, I guess, like getting those wins in the
Oh, yeah.
minutes?
No, and again, it helps install the confidence that we're on the right path. And anytime you can get early road wins, especially, just sort of helps set the table of what you want your week to look like. But the big mindset now with this group is we've done our review, we've closed that chapter, and very quickly now we've moved on, obviously, to a very tough Adelaide that we host in 2 days.
Obviously, Andrew fitting into the offense well, I suppose, despite, as you mentioned, playing more minutes on the court than he has practiced. How have you felt about how he's transitioned into the role as a starting point guard with the role of initiating the offense?
Yeah, I mean, we knew he would. 10 years of what he's done at the highest level, and that's not including him doing it in college. So, you see his directional leadership straight out of the gate. And again, when we get more minutes training with each other and feeding off what our strengths and weaknesses are, and that's the playing group I'm referring to, that's only going to continue to get better.
So you mentioned a talented Adelaide side coming up here on Thursday. What do you guys have to get right to hopefully protect home court again?
Well, I mean, the synergy already between Zylan and Bryce is evident, right? That first game against Brisbane that they played, those two are really working well off each other. It's reminiscence of Mooney and Cotton back in Perth a few years ago. So, just Zylan being able to find Cotton in those secondary actions and those rescreen actions and those guest game and the handoff, he's going to get 12, 13 points just off the gravity of Cotton alone. So, it's that pairing obviously is the first hurdle to navigate, and then obviously they got a lot of weapons off the ball that we can't get caught sleeping on.
Obviously, you emphasised, I suppose, in the first home game of the season, the importance of protecting home court, especially in front of a local crowd. How do you keep that message, strong heading into this game? Yeah,
just keep that message strong, right? I mean, we've got this month alone, I think the majority is what we do in the home games against teams that are considered playoff contenders. So the message is pretty clear.
Yeah, really good. It's always good to get two on the doubleheader, especially after kind of that season opener. It's pretty easy for the group to feel sorry for ourselves, but we came in with a great approach of practice that week, and set ourselves up really well for that weekend.
Take you back to the home game against Brisbane. What was it like, stepping out in front of home court and in front of a packed house full of local fans?
Yeah, it was awesome. Definitely gets loud in there, which is great. Especially when we're making a bit of a run and you kind of hear that crowd really get involved. So excited for the rest of the year and playing in front of the Taipans.
What was it like being on the court in those final minutes and both those games, I guess, close games?
Yeah, it's great. It's much easier playing in our field than sitting and watching. So them close games are exciting to be a part of, and just kind of figuring out ways to win with this group. So it's been really cool.
And just like in the past 2 games, obviously the other teams kind of come a bit closer, giving you a run for your money, bringing that scoreboard a bit closer. I guess how are we going to avoid doing that when the pressure gets a bit higher?
Just staying composed, I think, just making the right read and just taking a deep breath, because it gets easy to get sped up during those moments. So just kind of taking a deep breath, getting a huddle, talk to one another and figure out the game plan. So that's probably the main thing you want to try and do when it gets kind of into that stretch.
How are you feeling personally? Obviously coming off injury, didn't have any of the pre-season and a few big games, doubleheader over the weekend. How's the body holding up?
Yeah, not too bad. You get a little sore and beat up. So, it's kind of my first year in grown men basketball, so it's definitely a lot stronger bodies that getting used to, but settling in well. The game's starting to slow down for me as I get kind of settled into the league a little bit more.
So you and Andrew kind of share those ball handling duties a fair bit, and obviously you're both kind of new to the system. How do you feel like you guys are kind of meshed together so far?
Yeah, really good. Drew was here for pretty much one practice and straight into a double header, so there's still a lot to figure out, but just talking to him on the sidelines and on the court and things like that, he's a super smart player. He's been playing around the world for a long time, so really knows what he's doing and helping me as much as he can, so it's definitely been great early on.
Seems like you guys have like a real license to be aggressive, looking for your shot, especially early in the game. Is that something that, Forde's giving you the freedom to do? What's kind of gone into that?
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of the proposal kind of for me coming in, was to be aggressive scoring and doing what I do really well, so still getting like comfortable in that role and doing that, so it's definitely exciting to play for someone that allows you to be aggressive like that.
So you welcome a really talented Adelaide side onto home court on Thursday. What's kind of the key from you guys' perspective to get a win?
Just continue what we're doing defensively. The past 2 games we've done really well at executing our game plan for scout and things like that, and obviously you got Bryce Cotton, who's a 5-time MVP, so he's going to be a huge focal point in that scout and just executing what we want to do with that.
What's it been like playing alongside Jack McVeigh? Obviously hit some pretty big shots in both of the close wins. What's it been like, sharing the court with someone who's obviously, done it at a really high level in this competition?
Yeah, it's super fun. It makes it easy for me, and he's been great with always talking to me as well as I'm learning kind of the pro world, and I've spent time with him at Asia Cup as well, so we're developing a really good relationship, and it's fun kind of seeing him hitting those big shots, and you kind of used to seeing it on TV when I'd watch, and being a part of it is, you love kind of being on the right side of it.
I think we're locked in more than ever. It's great, always great to get 2 games in a weekend. I think the first game really motivated us to raise our level and lock into, really what Forde has been preaching all preseason. I think that first game kind of smacked us in the face a little bit, not having the bodies that we had all preseason, and understanding the level of intensity that we had to play, to come and start the season. But I think having a hard week and Forde really being more intense in practice really motivated us to come out and really show why this roster was invested in, and really show the talent that we have here in this organization.
So you got your first taste of home court up here in Cairns. What was it like getting your first taste of it?
It was great. I mean, the support, all I've heard is how much the community supports the Taipans, and to see every seat filled and everyone loud and really into the game, it really made me feel like I'm back in the States or back in Tennessee, just by the support and the energy that was in the arena.
And obviously those close games on the weekend, I just asked Reyne, what did you feel like it was like in those final quarters when those teams were kind of catching up on you guys? How are you going to hold your composure going forward? Yeah,
really those close games are on us. We just got to clean up some things towards the end of the game. I feel like both games we should have had a bigger lead. Turnovers led to them coming back, some mistakes on defense, fouls, things like that we can clean up. It's really on us to do. But going forward, all we can worry about is, quarter by quarter, just executing like we have been, locking in on the defensive end and playing together on offense, but eliminating the turnovers towards the end of the game so people don't have heart attacks at home.
Kind of shots have been coming and going for you, and then obviously hit those 2 big ones late in the third against the Bullets. What was that like, obviously, for you to hit 2 really important shots in that game and I suppose carry that momentum forward?
Yeah, it was great to get the crowd into it. I'm a kind of a guy that whatever's needed, depending on the game and situation, I'm going to do. Like last game, defense, intensity, and really communicating was more needed than me scoring. Reyne was going, Jack was going, Drew started getting it going, and really when we're in a flow like that, it's really just kind of fitting in and figuring out where I can make an impact. And my impact was more on the defensive end and trying to really keep guys off the glass. But going forward for me, the focus is just kind of getting more acclimated. I haven't really played since last November, had surgery in January, so I'm still getting back acclimated and getting healthy. And really, I think we have a great group and everyone understands that, and we have enough talent to where we don't need just one person to do it. But Jack has been on a roll, and it's been very valuable for us. And the high level that he's been playing at has been actually raising the level of everybody else. So it's really exciting to come out and start the season like this. But I think the main focus is just taking it game by game and kind of just stacking days and making this a part of our identity.
And what do you make of Adelaide coming into Thursday night's game?
I'm really excited. I hear a lot about Adelaide, Bryce Cotton. I'm not too familiar with all of his body of work, but I've heard all of his accolades and things like that, and I have much respect for him. Played against Zylan over in the States, so I'm excited to get to go against him again. And I think it'll be a good game. I know the crowd will be into it. We're ready. We're going to be ready to play. And for us, it's just about taking it day by day until then and getting healthy and being fresh to be able to play.
You mentioned Drew just before. Obviously, he's blown some cobwebs out, whether it was missing shots early in that first game, and obviously dealing with some cramping issues and that kind of stuff. But what's it been like having him integrate into the role? After basically flying in and starting pretty soon after.
I mean, I can attest to it. It's very tough to adjust to the time zone. For him, it probably was feel like he was playing at 3 in the morning. Which is very, very different for a basketball player. So just to see his toughness and how he's trying to adjust and really compete for us is very encouraging for everyone on the team. It really shows us that we really got a really good guard. We added a really good piece to our roster that's really going to help us going forward. And even having Waterberg out, is something to look forward to as well. Just adding those two together is going to be an even more dynamic piece. But to see Drew, the work that he's done already on the defensive end, on the offensive end, is very encouraging for all of us to be able to step in and really contribute in the ways that we know that we can.
Obviously, after that really tough round one loss where you didn't have Drew, did you notice the difference having him out on the court like a true point guard that knows how to initiate an offense?
Yeah, any team, you ask any team, any players that, especially Drew's a bigger guard as well, any team that can get a true point guard that can really control offense, really, limit the pressure on defense as well. Just a guy like Drew with so much experience. I would call him a journeyman, being in different leagues and being around the world. It really helps. It just really settles the team down and allow everyone to kind of naturally go back into their roles. I think the first game we all tried to take on a load that we all weren't comfortable with, but we handled it as best as we could. And it really wasn't, the result really wasn't what the situation was, and we know that. And to have Drew, it really makes it a lot easier for everybody to kind of naturally go back into their roles and really just be all-stars in their roles.